Alright guys, so this is another what-if scenario, and yeah, this one's going to be a little different, because usually I put like a big monster on a small island and see what it'd be like, but here, it's going to be a little different, because here, as you can see, what if the Gill-Man, existed on Isla Sorna, or better put, could the Gill-Man survive on Isla Sorna? So usually when it comes to putting, things on Sorna, it's usually a big animal. But here we got a human-sized monster. So what would it be like if that could the Gill-Man actually survive on Sorna? That's kind of the question we're going to be asking for this video. So yeah. So here's the thing: Sorna's landscape, especially in like the northeast part of it, is very much like the environment that the Gill-Man exists from, the Black Lagoon. So honestly, the Gill-Man's probably right at home. Like, you put him in those swampy, marshy areas, he's totally fine. Like, he is going to be able to thrive in that environment pretty well. The problem is that unlike in the Black Lagoon, where it was very clear that the Gill-Man really didn't have any kind of competition in terms of other animals. I mean, probably there were caiman and anaconda, and maybe the occasional jaguar wandered in there, but the Gill-Man was very much the apex predator, or at the very least, he knew how to get away. Here, Sorna is full of dinosaurs, so we kind of run into this problem of now the Gill-Man has this whole thing of like actual competition. You see, the Gill-Man had trouble with humans with guns. Now he has to contend in an environment where he's not only just the only one of his kind, but also he has to contend with predators who will see him as actual food. It's not like with caimans or anaconda or even jaguars, where I would imagine the only thing that would probably try to hunt him is a jaguar, and he'd be able to fight that off. Here, he's going to be in the food chain again. That's kind of the big deal, is that, the Gill-Man's going to be part of this, whole, he is definitely going to be part of the food chain and part of the ecosystem itself. Keep in mind, the Gill-Man's he only feeds on fish, so there's enough fish in the rivers of Isla Sorna that allows him to like peacefully exist. But here's the thing: peacefully existing on Sorna is kind of a pipe dream. So there aren't a lot of predators, at least by known lore. There aren't a lot of predators that are active swimmers, if you don't count Spinosaurus. Yeah, the Spino, I think the Gill-Man would, if he saw the Spino swimming through the water, he would be instantly like, just gonna hide in these rocks down here. So that would be, it's very typical of animals. When they enter a new environment, they try to seek out probably the safest place for themselves. That's going to be the Gill-Man's whole deal, is that he's going to be traveling by these river systems, avoiding landscape, because when he looks on land, he's going to be like, oh, those are big animals. I'm not going to bother with that, and go back under the water. So he's going to be trying to do his best in order to like avoid open conflict. But again, the Spinosaurus and keep in mind, it's the only one. So if he sees the Spinosaurus and the Spino sees him, like, the Spino is probably going to see, ooh, lunch. The Gill-Man is going to be like, hiding now, just gonna. And the thing is like, he's amphibious, but we know that the Gill-Man is capable of long periods underwater, probably even longer than the Spinosaurus. Even though, yes, I know this isn't an accurate Spinosaurus, but they've basically changed the lore, saying, no, it was one of Wu's first attempts of being a hybrid. So now that I think about it, it could actually be, it could be that its lung capacity could actually last longer underwater, but that's never been confirmed. So that's going to be a big change right there. I'm going to say it's probably normal. So all Gill-Man has to do is just hide under the water, and he'll be fine. Yeah. So anyway, as long as he sticks to riverways and deep lakes, he'll be fine. The other animal I think he would have to look out for the most are pteranodons, mostly because pteranodons are you know, they're fish eaters as well, but they won't be opposed to, as we saw with JP3, we saw that the, pteranodons aren't afraid of attacking human-sized prey, and Gill-Man's pretty human-sized. So if he was like too close to the surface, he'd probably try to get pecked out of the water. Thankfully, though, Gill-Man isn't he's not a slouch. He's easily going to be able to defend himself. So I could even see it that Gill-Man may even prey on smaller pteranodons. We do know that there is a wide variety of pterosaurs in Sorna. So I would imagine that he would probably feed on, the Gill-Man would probably even feed on some smaller pteranodons that would be skimming along the water, and he'd reach out, grab them, and eat them. It's also possible, because the Gill-Man's diet, while it is primarily fish, it's very clear he does eat meat. So he could actually be hunting like a crocodile, in that what he could do is, not just hunting pterosaurs and fish, but also I could see him like gauging what dinosaurs he could possibly feed on, such as like maybe young, or I don't think he would prey on like Parasaurolophus or any of the hadrosaurs or ceratopsians, maybe the younger ones, but then if it's just a herd of them, he's going to run into the problem of, hey, if he tries to grab a kid, the mom's going to impale him on her horn. So it's all about most predators weighing the risk-reward values. So I think Gill-Man would do the same there. Most of his prey would probably be the smaller ones that would come to the water, like medium-sized dinosaurs like Herrerasaurus. I think he would also prey on definitely compies that are feeding on water. Like, he just grab them and feed on them. Would raptors be on his prey item? That would be high risk reward. I think it depends on if he sees like a wounded raptor, or if he tries to see the raptors like crossing the water and just kind of evaluate, okay, which one can I think I can pick off from the pack and grab them. But then even still, a raptor in water is still a velociraptor in water. So you're going to have to contend with a lot of teeth and claws. And the Gill-Man doesn't exactly have a armored body. So it's going to probably depend on, again, maybe it's an elderly raptor or a single raptor that's wounded. Could be that, or it's more in his element where he can attack them underwater. He's not going to, the Gill-Man is not going to contend with the likes of like T-Rex. In fact, like, I think he would actively stay away from the Rexes. Same with the Spino. He's going to be very much of kind of like your typical crocodile behavior, but instead of like, hunting big game underwater, it's going to be more of, I'm just going to feed on fish, pterosaurs, and small dinosaurs, and also stay out, do as much as I can to stay out of off the land. But obviously he isn't a amphibious creature. The Gill-Man's probably going to have to go on land a few times to forage for other food to help with his diet. That's when he's probably at his most vulnerable. Again, it wouldn't be just the Rex or the Spino. It'd be the raptors, who, if he gets caught by those raptors on land, I mean, he could defend himself, but the raptors are out. They basically outnumber him. So he's going to be overwhelmed. He's going to be overrun and fed on. So his best bet is just to stay in the marshes and keep a low profile, feeding on whatever he could find. Yeah. But I could see him thriving, probably even better. I mean, yeah, the predator-prey ratio is a lot different there, but he'd probably have a better chance there than on Nublar. Definitely way more on Skull Island. So Sorna would, again, it fits to his criteria of environment. It also has enough food diversity that allows him to survive, but also the Gill-Man is going to have to play smart in order to survive on such a hostile environment. Because again, it's not like in the Amazon where he could usually fight off most of the animals there and even feed on them. Here, he is part of the food. He's going to realize very quickly that he is a part of the food chain, and he's got to get with it, or he's going to get eaten. So therein lies the big thing, the big difference here. But anyway, you guys tell me in the comments below, do you think the Gill-Man could survive on Isla Sorna, or do you think he's just going to get eaten? I'm very curious about this one. Again, it's a human-sized monster living on an island of dinosaurs. So what would that look like? yeah, just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.